Here with Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. And KJ, this is a year of high expectations for you. You got a new offensive coordinator, knew a lot of stuff, but what's it feel like being a third-year starter in the SEC?
It feels good. It feels amazing, actually, to be a third-year starter in the SEC, just knowing this is the elite conference, the best of the best. So just being able to be a third-year starter is truly amazing.
How did your decision-making process go at the end of last season to decide to be here and not be in an NFL camp right now?
It was really easy for me, just knowing that I wanted to come back because I didn't play in a couple games due to injury.
Yeah.
And also just last year, draft was a quarterback-heavy draft, so being able to come back and give myself a chance.
You mentioned the getting banged up and missing. How tough was that? Like the Mississippi State game that you couldn't play in. What was that like watching?
It was hard. It was heartbreaking. Just going back to Mississippi, going back home, and not being able to play in front of my family. But also it was also a life learning moment for me, just being able to help my guys out on the sideline and help the quarterback that was coming in.
Now, how'd your mom handle that? Because you were on my show last year, and you were telling me about your mom during games, which in high school you could hear her everywhere. But she does this in college too, where you can hear her calling plays, all that. How did she handle when you were dinged up?
She handled it pretty well. I mean, she stayed in my ear about just, you know what I'm saying, it's football, it's going to happen. Just being able to just make sure you're doing each and everything you can do to get back, make sure you get in the training room.
Yeah. What is that like when you're in an SEC stadium and you can hear your mom?
It's pretty surreal that I can actually hear her and know, like, hear her, or she'll walk down to the sideline and say something to me. So it's pretty surreal, but it's also, I feel like it's a gift.
Because I've seen a ton of parents do that in high school. I've never seen anybody do that in an 80,000 seat stadium. So that is impressive, and that has got to be an impressive voice.
Yeah.
I mean, is that as you were growing up? Did you have to be careful to not have that voice be mad at you?
A little bit. I mean, that's still to this day right now. I mean, she still get mad at me for certain things, but I mean, she's my biggest critic. So I mean, she always know what's best for me, and she want me to reach my full potential.
So now you're working with Coach Enos. He comes in. Coach Briles is at TCU. How different is this going to look?
It's going to look way different. I mean, we're not as fast as we used to be in the past. Pro-style offense with some spread concepts in it. So the game is going to be a whole lot slower now moving forward.
Well, Coach Pittman was saying that when he talked to Coach Enos about what he wanted out of the offense, he said, I want KJ upright throwing the ball. And, you know, how do you decide, okay, I need to run now or I need to stand in here and throw this thing?
I feel like it's based off instincts. I mean, it's kind of an instinct thing, but it's also a mental thing as well, just knowing like, hey, I need to stand here in this pocket as long as I can and deliver a great ball, or hey, I need to get out of this pocket and create an explosive play with my legs.
You've been in this program for a long time now. How well do you know your teammates, and how much does that help when you're in practice, when you're in the weight room, when you're on the field?
It means a lot. I mean, I know just about each and everybody's why, like what motivates them. So I kind of know a lot, and each and every day we try to do some type of bonding experiment or exercise for us amongst each other to get to know everybody. So just being able to, when times get hard, we can always count on each other. When
did you start trying to figure out everybody's why? When did you say, I need to know what makes this guy tick and what makes this guy tick?
I would say just evaluating like NFL quarterbacks and how they're so persistent, how they can be able to just diagnose everything. So they're just motivating me to be like, hey, maybe it's the smaller details I need to pay attention to.
Have you been watching that quarterback show on Netflix with Mahomes?
I have.
It is so amazing to see it because Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota, very different quarterbacks, different people, but it's amazing to see how they operate.
Yeah, it is. It is. My one of the trainers on the staff actually told me about the show. I didn't know nothing about it, so I went back and watched it, and then to actually like see those three different type of quarterbacks go through what they go through in the NFL. So it's fun to watch, but it's also like,
who's the most fun to watch?
Mahomes for sure.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, Mahomes for sure.
When they had the part where he's showing how he comes up with the different arm angles and practices all those different arm angles, that is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is.
Although I will say, like, Cousins was interesting to me because he's the one, he's saying, okay, we're going to stay afterward and we're going to go over all these calls.
Yeah.
And he's just grabbing individual guys to say, hey, just come over and we'll go over.
Yeah.
Like, how, as a leader in the offense, how often do you have to do that where you may have to pull a guy aside and say, all right, I see you're struggling with this. Let's work on this.
Yeah. I feel like at the quarterback position, I wouldn't say you had to do it every day, but like more times than not, you have to do it because they're expecting you to lead them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So just being able to help those guys out and know that, hey, timing is everything when it comes down to quarterback and receiver.
How differently do the other players react to you now than when you were the first-time starter?
Very different. Just because I'm a veteran now, I played a lot of games, started a lot of games, so now they look to me for their vocal leadership, their experience aspect of things.
All right, I'm going to ask you. I asked Coach this question too. I'm going to ask you. What does that guy do for a living? Oh, hold on, I lost you. There he is. What does that guy do for a living?
Flip cheeseburgers.
He said he thought he was managing bands, but you know, I flip cheeseburger. I bet he makes a damn fine cheeseburger too.
You probably do. You probably do.
KJ, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Having me.
Thank you.